Don't ask me why, because honestly I have no idea, but I've always had this weird soft spot for Stoke City, especially when they were managed by the man, the myth, the legend, that is Tony Pulis. This FIFA rebuild might be a bit different to other FIFA rebuilds you've seen on YouTube, because in this FIFA rebuild I'm going to buy and sell similar players like Tony Pulis did when he was manager of Stoke. So how this is going to work is, when it comes to buying players, I'm going to look at the real players he bought during that transfer window and then buy similar players based upon height, age and the division they were actually playing in at the time of the transfer. And when it comes to selling players, that's going to be based upon the age and the position they were playing in to match the real transfer. I hope this makes sense to you. If not, just watch and you'll get what I'm doing.
A warm welcome to you all. Without further delay, we are pleased to introduce your new manager.
So you're aware, I'm doing the transfers from the 2006 to 2007 season when Tony Pulis came back to Stoke for a second time. The first thing he did was got rid of Edgar Day and Jerry Targett. So to match those transfers, we're going to get rid of Frank Fielding and Kieran Clark. He then got rid of striker Hans Sigurdsson, left winger Peter Kopteff and defensive midfielder Carl Henry. So we're going to get rid of Dwight Gow, left midfielder DeMargo Wright-Phillips and defensive midfielder Josh Laurent. Is this starting to make sense now to people? Tony Pulis then brought in 26-year-old 6'3" striker Ricardo Fuller, who was playing for Championship side Southampton at the time. So to match that transfer, we're going to buy 6'3" Haji Wright from Championship side Coventry. Tony Pulis then went on to buy 6'1" centre-back Danny Higginbottom from Southampton. So to match that transfer, we're going to buy 6'1" centre-back Matt Clark from Middlesbrough. Tony Pulis' final permanent signing of the 2006-2007 summer transfer window was 6'1" striker Vincent Pericard, who was playing for Premiership side Portsmouth at the time. So to match that transfer, we're going to sign 6'1" Lyle Foster from Premiership side Burnley. In the first game of our Championship season, we're facing Middlesbrough. As you can see, I've gone for a 4-4-2 formation with all our new players starting and with a part the bus tactic. We got off to a pretty slow start, with Middlesbrough dominating most of the possession, but they weren't really doing much with it. But then in the 16th minute, we somehow managed to play Lyle Foster through, who went on to score his first goal for Stoke in the Tony Pulis era. The rest of the game, however, was just all Middlesbrough possession. They just kept playing the ball around, but they could never break down our part of the bus method. The game finished 1-0, with Stoke City picking up the first 3 points of the Tony Pulis era. But it was in match day 2 against Preston North End when we really started playing like Tony Pulis' Stoke, as we scored not 1, not 2, but 3 goals from crosses. Come the halfway point in the season, we were absolutely smashing it, sitting in a comfortable 3rd position, 1 point behind 2nd place Leeds and 5 points behind leaders Leicester. We were absolutely solid throughout the whole team. Up top, we were winning everything in the air. Our wingers were providing pinpoint crosses. We were scoring all sorts of goals from all sorts of angles, and nothing was getting past our back four. In the January transfer window, Tony Pulis sold and bought a few players. He sold defender Michael Dewberry to Reading and attacking midfielder Luke Chadwick to Norwich. So to match those transfers, we're going to sell defender Ben Wilmot and attacking midfielder Daniel Johnson. Pulis also got rid of midfielder David Brammer, so we're going to get rid of midfielder Lewis Baker. In January 2007, Tony Pulis brought in 5'10" winger Liam Lawrence from Championship side Sunderland. So to match that transfer, we're going to bring in 5'10" Blackburn winger Anor Sigurdsson. In the same transfer window, Tony Pulis brought in 6' cult hero Rory Delap from Sunderland as well. So we are going to bring in 6' defensive midfielder Kenny McLean from Championship side Norwich. Tony Pulis brought in 2 more players that January transfer window, defender Dominic Matteo from Premier League Blackburn and 6'3" Championship goalkeeper Russell Holt. So we are going to bring in Premiership defender Chris Basham and Championship goalkeeper Neil Everidge respectively. With our new signings, we finished the season strong, with a final position of 3rd place, just 1 point off automatic promotion. Our first leg of the Championship playoffs was away at Hull City, who finished 6th in the league. The whole game we didn't look like scoring, and then in the 23rd minute we fell a goal behind to a Fabio Carvalho opener. Come half time we were 1-0 down without even a shot on target. The second half was just as bad as the first, with things we've been doing all season like crossing now flying over people's heads. And then on the 65th minute we were punished again for some woeful defending. Our only shot of the game came in the 67th 87th minute with an acrobatic effort from Wright. The game finished 2-0 to Hull, which means we need to score more than 2 goals in the second leg to make it to the Championship playoff final. The second leg we started the game off a lot better than the first. We just seemed a lot more organised. We managed to score in the 14th minute after some terrible defending from Hull City. But like I was saying earlier, we were a lot more defensively strong in this game. We were actually winning headers from corners and tackling a lot stronger. But don't get me wrong, Hull City still had some chances to score. But once again, we weren't taking chances like we were during the season. We went in at half-time 1-0 up, but we still needed at least 2 goals to make sure we get to the final. I decided to make some changes at half-time, so I brought on Basham for Clark and Wesley for Foster. The fresh legs seemed to help the squad in the second half as we went 2-0 up thanks to Wright once again. We played the rest of the match defending well and winning everything in the air. And then in the 88th minute, Wesley was played through to put Stoke City 3-2 up in this Championship playoff semi-final. The game finished 3-0 and Stoke City were going to their first ever Championship playoff final. And we managed to do it all through watching it through tactical view. In the playoff final, we were up against Kenny McLean's former club Norwich, who had finished 5th in the Championship. We actually started the game off alright. We had a few chances early on which we should have taken, but the opener came in the 35th minute after we allowed Sargent way too much time on the ball. We then went 2-0 down after once again allowing Sargent having way too much time on the ball, and also a combination of just really bad defending and goalkeeping. We went in at half time 2-0 down after some more wasted efforts. The second half we started off slow again, but in the 52nd minute, after a fantastic pass into the box, Wright managed to find some space and put the ball in the back of the net. And then 10 minutes later we managed to draw it level with a goal that the real Tony Pulis would have been proud of after a cross into the box which was met by Tyrese Campbell. But then pretty much from the restart, Norwich just played the ball all the way up the pitch. We had some awful defending in the box and the goal went in to make it 3-2 to Norwich. The game ended 3-2 with Norwich City being promoted to the Premier League. I know we didn't get promoted, but in reality we didn't have that bad of a season. In Tony Pulis' first season back at Stoke, he actually finished 8th. I managed to finish 3rd, get to the 6th round of the FA Cup, the 2nd round of the Carling Cup and finish runner-up in the Championship playoff final. In next week's video I'm going to sign similar players as Tony Pulis did in the 2007 to 2008 season, and we'll see if we can too get promoted out of the hardest league in the world and back to the big time, the Premier League.